I haven't had cigarettes for a while. I've been smoking out of an aluminum foil pipe, whatever cigarette butts I find on the ground. I got homeless people who are tweakers and heroin heads currently congregating around my vehicle, some of which may have taken part in stealing my belongings. I just found a snipe. This one's long enough, I don't have to put it in a fucking aluminum foil pipe and look like a crackhead when I smoke it. But that stuff had all the evidence on there that, well, all the shit that I was saying was true. Now, some of it I can go back and recollect, but just keep in mind it took, well, almost a year to collect just what was on that computer. It is almost a year's worth of evidence that was lost. I was able to get a lot of other stuff back, and I have screenshots of a lot of the things that are on there. And there are people who have bits and pieces of that evidence for safekeeping. The problem is I literally cannot take care of myself. Not physically, not mentally. I just can't. So I try to explain this to people. I can't jump through all the hoops that you want me to. The things that you're saying are based on you not having the time to listen and understand. And for me, that is extremely punishing because I got a family that don't care. The help that I got from my family in the last 2 years, I got to tell you, it wasn't help. It was prolonging the agony, and it was excuses for cruelty. So now I have to deal with the fact that I have homeless junkies everywhere that I go that want my attention because I'm nice to them. Meanwhile, these very same people are stealing my shit and mobbing me.
Are you okay with them like being in your vehicle, man?
They're in my vehicle?
Well, they're like outside of it and stuff.
Oh, dude, I already let them know that they were making me uncomfortable and that, like, dude, they're talking about fucking shooting people and stealing shit and fucking, dude, it creeps me out. And then they're breaking out their drugs over there and fucking, like, I don't want nothing to do with any of that shit.
You want me to tell them to leave? Like,
oh, dude, that'll create way more problems for me too, though. That's the problem. Is that
well, they can't. You need to go tell them they can't be sitting right there doing their drugs, okay? Cause then
I did.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go down there. I know it's gonna cost me.
Now, when they pulled him out this time, I didn't say nothing because at that point, I was just surrounded by a bunch of them and fucking don't want to explain it again.
Is your car not locked?
It is locked. Like I'm catching a lot of guff for these guys and the things that they're doing,
Yeah,
and they're doing those
Starbucks,
things to me.
I know Starbucks is gonna call me in 3 seconds and say, "Hey, why is there a million homeless people out here?"
I hoped if I walked off, they'd get the hint because I did say something about them all congregating around and giving me a severe panic attack.
Starbucks is calling me complaining about you guys being over here. You guys need to know.
I was just showing them my diggles.
I know, but you guys gotta move, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I'll put it all up.
Starbucks does nothing but standing outside their business. Yeah, these are right there.
Calm down. Man down.
Calm down, calm down.
Oh my god, dude, I'm so tired.
Me too.
I want to go home.
I don't sleep. I got nightmares, and in situations like this, I don't even know the right fucking thing to do. Like we all know, you can't call the cops.
Oh, they'll leave.
Not on them, or not even on this situation. On the other
What is the
situations,
other situation?
the people stealing all my shit.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
Other than
There's not. We've
gotta
already
figure
gone
out-
over this. You're
you're
not a
gonna have
bad
to figure
person
out-
because their shit
you're
doesn't
gonna have to
work.
figure out a way to somehow get money to move this eventually. Somewhere.
I've been working on that all friggin'. I've literally been working on that for 3 weeks. I mean, I was able to move it between here and a couple parking spaces back and
now a
forth.
beacon.
Right.
Yeah.
And I try to explain that, you know, like this is not something that I can have. I'm broke. I can't have what little I have being stolen by homeless people who are coming up and playing on sympathy to fucking steal my shit. Like all the people who stole my shit, they're all people who would come up to me and ask for help.
And that girl, she's bad news. Okay, she'll give you the sympathy story about her daughter or whatever, but
She tried grabbing my phone off my dash
yeah,
yesterday.
She's bad news, man. She's I caught her down on the stairs getting fucked for drugs.
Yeah.
Straight up, just on the stairs. Yeah.
Well, desperate people
Yeah,
do desperate
yeah.
shit, and that's what the drugs do to them.
So I don't know, man.
Like, I literally can't take care of myself, and I can't defend myself against those folks. The other thing is, like, they're doing some really fucked up shit, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, that one.
Except
dude,
speak out.
The one dude with the hoodie. A couple months ago, he didn't look too bad. He looks bad now.
Well, half of his face is scratched
Yeah.
off. Half of her face is scratched off.
So I'm not sure, man. I just
Like, the general public turns a blind eye to this and just assumes that all of us out
This
here are those
corner?
guys.
You couldn't have picked a worse corner because this corner's like the junkie corner. I don't know why. I think it's because they can live in the park over there, or the park over here, and the whatever over there. So
Well, I have 2 videos of people passed out in that very bus stop right there with heroin needles in their arm. As I videotaped one of them, the dude who helped me to go find my stuff, my bag the first time it was stolen, he was smoking a foilie on the other side of that thing right there. While that dude was passed out with a heroin needle in his arm at the bus stop, not 10 feet away from me.
she's a heroin addict. She doesn't do meth. That's why she never has any sores on her face. But I caught her in Dairy Queen shooting up.
Yeah.
She likes to pass out places.
That's what they do.
So, I don't know, man.
At least you know how to identify your drugs. I don't know if it's this job that gave you that experience, but it's certainly
No, you
the
can
right
tell
place
the
for it.
difference. You can tell the difference. Although,
I try telling
surprised
people
she's
that.
Kind of, she's not very skinny. She's kind of chubby, actually. Usually heroin addicts get really skinny.
It's because they forget to eat, because the heroin,
She might be
it gives them a stomach
fairly
problem.
new addict. So I don't know.
Heroin
always
is
looks
morphine
clean.
based, and it gives you a stomach issue, so a lot of people just stop eating on it. But some people, like if they ingest it orally, they want to eat on top of it. So, I don't know. I dealt with this problem in Chapel, Nebraska. I dealt with it in Boulder, Colorado. I dealt with it in Denver. I've dealt with it here in Tacoma. I've dealt with it in California. I mean, I've dealt with it in Wyoming, you know. I mean, it's everywhere. And the police, they're like, all right, we're not going to worry about actual crimes. What we're going to do is we're going to run around and pick up homeless people for sleeping. That way, the crimes they're picking them up for, it doesn't make it look like their city is as dirty as it fucking is.
Well, Tacoma's always just been like an epicenter. I don't know what it is right around this area. It's just the tracks. I guess it's because like if you're a junkie, you want to hang out with other junkies. So I mean, I get it. You're all together, so.
Right?
One
Well, that's
attracts
the thing.
the
Like,
other.
I'm nice to people, so they keep showing up. This guy right here was going to help me to find my computer. He's spent a couple days doing that, I guess.
All right, man.
But, yeah.
Yeah. You're too trusting, man.
I have to, though. That's the problem, is that I literally am at everyone else's mercy and will. I can't take care of myself.
No one.
Neither do I. It's, like I said, it's out of necessity. I don't have the back to help myself. My head is too fucked up to help myself. And my situation is too fucked up to help myself. Like, I've been trying to get the money to get that vehicle out of here for 3 weeks now. And all of my money that was supposed to be for that has gone to getting my stuff back from tweakers that I was trying to help.
I'm trying to think where you could go. It's not too far away. It's not as bad as.
And they didn't steal from me because I tried to help. They stole from me because they're thieves. You know?
You can't go to Gig Harbor. They don't allow any type of loitering, panhandling. It's illegal there to panhandle.
I don't want to panhandle.
Well, no, I'm just saying they will arrest you. They're that kind of. They're very strict. Like even sitting in your vehicle overnight, they'll just they have an ordinance.
I know
They pass.
they have that in a lot of places.
Yeah.
That's why I gotta come up with the money to move. But like everything that I had that I could sell for
I mean, if you
moving, I
went
had
to Puyallup,
I had to
you'd
trade.
probably be better off than here.
I'm not able to do any of that. Literally, my one chance is to get to Wyoming, where I have a friend who's gonna try to help take care of me. And some of those homeless people were saying that they were willing to drive me to Wyoming in exchange for the vehicle, and they'll even help her pull the trailer. But I don't want to take them there because this is a friend I've known over 20 years. You know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I know, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say I know. So I know, but I don't know.
Well,
I'm not gonna be
I've
one of those
definitely-
people that says I understand. You know. Oh, I get it, man. You know.
I have anxiety about needing to move that thing. And then on top of that, people are like, oh, you don't need to worry about it. And then they're talking to me about it. And I'm like, well, you said
I
didn't need
just
to
worry
Not
about my boss.
you, right?
Me and Flo are pretty nice, but my boss,
Yeah.
if he shows up, he'll just tag you, man. He won't listen to your story. He'll
You'll see that's the thing
Yeah.
they've been telling me too. Is like they're like, well, we're fine with it, but the thing is that I have to get it moved before they start complaining about it. And once they started complaining about it, which they have, they told me, dude, we're doing the best we can to be patient, but you got to find a way to get that thing up and moving. And I'm like, I'm stuck. I don't have the ability to take care of myself, and I'm stuck. I try to explain to people that I have crippling panic attacks and I shut down. And it's because of things like this that I get shut down. And then all of my time is worrying about them towing my vehicle or the cops coming in harassing me for being here too long and being told that I'm trespassing and I have to move it with the blinkers out. So then they pull me over as I'm pulling out of the parking lot and tell me that they're taking my vehicle and I'm under arrest. Or I'm homeless, and I'm lucky that they allowed me to take anything out of it.
I just worry about you losing your vehicle. I don't want that to happen.
See, I'm worried about all of that. That's why I've been making all this effort.
My boss has no sympathy, and neither does the maintenance guy. And we are not the ones that tow. It's the maintenance guy. He's the guy who comes and actually does that. So that's the only thing I worry about.
Well, I'm worried about it too because I don't have the ability to do anything with it until I have money, and everything I had I could have sold for money. I couldn't carry to a pawn shop. I needed the vehicle, and I had to trade that stuff to get like my computer and my phone back, you know. And then they stole my computer again. Like, I literally cannot take care of myself, and they're not understanding this. And I'm calling all these services that want me to fill out paperwork, and I'm like, the paperwork isn't helping. I'm still out here being victimized. I can't take care of myself. And they're like, oh, well, we'll make some phone calls and get back to you next week. And I'm like, well, that's the thing, is that I can't take care of myself. And they're like, well, you need to call this place and go that place and go to this place and do this and do that. And I'm like, I can't take care of myself. This is too much. I'm overwhelmed. That's the issue. Adding 30 more things on top of the 300 things I need to do already doesn't help. And then I feel bad because people like you are out here, you know, trying to help me, you know, talking to me like I'm a person, showing me where my belongings are, like fucking helping out. But then you're strapped. There's not much that you can do except say, hey man, I really need my job.
I don't know, man. I have seen it happen before. That's the only thing I was worried about. I mean, we've seen people that we had one guy came in his car, lived over there by the Olive Garden. We kept telling him, hey, you know, so something was really far more than you, like mentally, something wasn't clicking right, and I don't think he really understood what I was saying. And 3 days later, they towed his vehicle and he was homeless.
See, that's the thing. Like, do I come across as schizophrenic?
No.
You know, that.
Although, when I talked to you earlier, you were pretty agitated. You were kind of,
Fuck yes. Dude.
yeah,
Oh my god.
kind of aggressive.
And
I
that's
know,
the thing.
yeah.
I try to
Yeah.
explain to people. Like, I've been through an entire life of this, and the last 3 years have been the worst hell ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in institutions getting raped. This literally is.
No, but I mean,
worse
I
than
deal with it every day. I get it, like that
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But walking up to somebody who doesn't do security or police, they might be like,
Right.
yeah, like
And,
that.
and
you know?
like at first,
Yeah.
you know, I'm pretty calm and collected and trying to explain it. But then when I'm calm and collected, people just don't quite get
And
it.
when they call the cops, you, instead of somebody who's upset, you become angry. Man is yelling at me and he's being aggressive, you know, and the cops show up. You know,
Right. And the whole time I've been trying to get a hold of the cops to do their job. They won't do
good
their
luck with
job,
that,
but
man.
now they'll show up and tell me I gotta go.
Come and tase you, man. You don't want to get tased.
No, I have been tased. But yeah, so I mean, like, I'm trying my best not to be victimized, and their help is to victimize me, and I'm doing my best to get out of here. And these people are like, well, my job, my job. I need my job. I have, one of the ladies here, she's got a son who's autistic.
Yeah.
There's, Flo has friends that are autistic. Like, these people already knew that I was autistic before I ever opened my mouth. But then there's the fact that they can't do anything about it because they have to take care of their situation. And there is so much that goes into it, especially where autism is involved. And then there's the part where I'm intelligent, so they deny me all the rights that I'm supposed to have as a disabled person. But then they call me
Maybe you
mentally
need
ill.
to go in and be like, duh, I don't know anything, man, or something. I don't know.
See, lots of people been telling me that. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you just need to go in there all mice and men and play Lanny. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not like that. By the time I get agitated like that, like literally I've been trying to get help for people to understand I literally cannot take care of myself. People keep throwing money at me, which is great. It gets me from one place to another, but it doesn't get me to a care facility. It doesn't get me to a safe place where my loved ones are. It doesn't get me to a place where I can gather the evidence that I need to take these people to court without being victimized or stolen from or treated like I'm one of those guys.
What happens if you walked into a hospital and you said, I can't take care of it? They put you in inpatient, they charge you $3,000, and they kick you out like a couple days later? Is that what happens?
Yeah, 3 days. Or what they do, if you're trying to turn in a police officer, they won't even hold you the full 72 hours. The officer tells them basically what they think of you. They say, well, we think he's schizophrenic, or we think he's bipolar, or we think he's this, or we think he's that. And then they kick you out after less than 24 hours because they just wanted to write that down so that the officers got what they wanted. Now that the officers got what they wanted, they throw you out, and you have to travel from Scottsbluff, Nebraska to Chapel, Nebraska. It's like 100 and something miles on foot with a backpack with a fucked up back and fucked up legs. That literally happened 4th of July last year. Yeah.
The system's broken, so I don't know.
Well, I blame you because I didn't get a pony for my 16th birthday.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the fact that my Pegasus is so high off the ground, I would smack some reality into your little friggin' unicorn show, because them things are just not it, bud. Now let's talk a bunch of more crazy tinfoil hat stuff about Illuminati so that everybody looks at us like we're meth heads.
I'm trying to think what you could. I don't know, man.
That's what people expect, is they expect me to be a junkie like the other people out here. And the difference between whether or not they're treated like a person is whether you call them a junkie or an addict. The difference between somebody treating me like a human being or treating me like an animal is the difference between the term mentally disabled and mentally ill. Mentally ill, you think of Ted Kaczynski. Mentally disabled, you think of your cousin. Not your cousin, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man.
But I'm trying to get out of here, and that's the thing is, but I'm making the effort, even if people don't see it, and that's the part that hurts so much, is that people assume that I'm not making the effort because they're not there to see it.
Yeah.
I literally could have gone hunting for those people who stole my stuff and done terrible things to them, but that's just not who I am. Like when I went to get my stuff back, when those homeless people were telling me, dude, when you get your stuff, you should run up and kick them right in the face. I'm like, I don't want to break my shit. I don't want to hurt another human being. I need that evidence.
I haven't seen Beanie and his band of idiots lately. They must be in jail.
No, it's because they stole my stuff and they're afraid to come back. They're afraid they got tagged on video, and they probably did. All right, well.
I actually think that the Beanie guy, the Kelly guy, I was looking at some missing people's posters. I actually think he's a missing person.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's this one dude that, like, like him. That guy. Take this. I don't know. Does that dude not look like him, but without the hair?
That looks like the dude who stole my shit.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I can't tell, but it looks really similar. But now this dude here.
I
has
mean, that
blonde
looks like
hair.
the guy literally
Yeah.
who showed up yesterday and traded my welder to get my phone back. Not this one, but the other. No, this one actually, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's him or not. I were to see him again, I could ID him, but it sure looks like him.
It does.
And this guy seems like a real douchebag because it says he disappeared from his wife and kids because he didn't want to pay child support or something, and he's on the run.
Ah.
So it seems like a real winner.
You know why they call them deadbeat dads, don't you? Because if you beat them to death, you're still never going to get your money.
He left his Parkland apartment following an argument and has not been seen or heard from since 2017.
Huh.
But yeah, if I see him again, if I can ID him. Well, heck, if you see him, call the cops because you get a reward. You get $1,000. So,
Really?
yep. So if you see him,
What's his name?
it says his name is Daniel O'Leary.
Daniel O'Leary.
I don't know if that's the same guy, but it sure looks like him.
It does look like him.
And this guy told me his name is Kelly. And I was thinking, like, Kelly kind of sounds like an Irish name, and O'Leary is his last name. I was like, maybe he just went with that because it sounds.
Well,
Irish.
his hair does look a lot lighter, not in the picture, but in real life.
Yeah.
Like it's shorter.
I'm not sure if it's him or not. I don't know. Yeah, it says receive up to $1,000 reward if you find this person.
Well, his camp is either the one over there or the one over there. I don't know who the one over there is, but I got pointed the one over there.
I don't know if it's him or not. So. Oh well.
Yeah, it's too bad you're not a fugitive enforcement agent.
Yeah.
Of course, you're not enough of an asshole to be that. You're really not enough of an asshole to be a security guard.
That's why I quit. I quit doing loss prevention because I didn't like being an asshole.
Right?
Because people were stealing food and we'd have to arrest them. You know, so.
See, I feel like shit because I had to do a lot of mean fucking
Yep.
shit to defend myself, to defend my loved ones.
Yep.
Folks just ain't understanding that.
Oh yeah, as a loss prevention officer, I ruined a few people's lives because of the third strike law. So they would come in and steal food. They had 2 strikes already. That's their 3rd strike. If it's over a certain amount, that's 10, 20 years, man, just for stealing from Fred Meyer. Just for, that's...
And then you get the repeat
Yeah.
offender if you've
Yep.
stolen food before.
We had a guy who had 6 warrants, and we arrested him. We didn't know he had 6 warrants. He gets in there, he's all like, oh, I only stole some, I don't know what he stole, like a boom box or something. You know, he thought he was going to get a ticket and get out. We looked up on the computer, we saw he had 6 warrants. I was like, dude, you got 6 warrants. You got like felony, you know, running from the police, resisting arrest. He started bawling his eyes out because he was fucked, man. He's just for stealing a, you know, radio.
See, that's what fucks
Yeah.
them into the situation where they
Yeah.
end up having to steal to begin with.
I was
You
like,
get one bad officer.
You had all this stuff, and now you got arrested just for this minor little misdemeanor, and now it's going to be a felony because.
And that's
Yeah.
another thing. Like, there are a lot of guys out here who are actually committing crimes. They're ignoring that stuff. And then they're pegging stuff on people who can't defend themselves. And then, like, you've got people who can't do anything, have no useful skills except to steal because they got thrown out homeless out of the system when they turned 18. They call it aging out.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I see these people stealing my shit, and I'm pissed off about it, but I also know the situation they're in. So I can't just blindly hate them for doing it.
Yep.
I'd love to. I'd love to say they're all shitty excuses for human beings and they do this because they're evil. But really, people don't do mean shit because they're evil. They do it because they're scared. And all these people are scared of their situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they don't want to be sober, man. Because when you're sober, you realize
Yep.
all the shit you've done.
All the shit you've been through, too. Like, a lot of these women out here have been raped repeatedly,
Yeah.
or they've had to sell their bodies to pay off an ex-boyfriend's debt, or to pay off their drugs they're addicted to. And, like, there's at least 3 women here who are here in this parking lot because they're fleeing domestic violence and human trafficking. Like their boyfriends or spouses were selling their bodies to pay for the shit they were putting into their arms.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, these people are stealing from me, but I also understand the demographics. I understand the situation they're stepping out of. 80% of the women who are homeless, or 80% of the people who end up homeless, grew up in the system. Like we're the largest cross section, and most of the women who end up homeless is because they're fleeing domestic violence or domestic abuse.
You can tell who's trafficked here though, because one, they're usually young, they're usually good looking, and they'll only be here for a couple of weeks, and then you'll never see them again because they don't want to get with. There was one Asian girl who used to work the corner there for a couple of weeks, and now she's gone. So.
Yep, and they do that a lot. Once they get too old or somebody beats them up and they don't look pretty anymore, they become the one that goes around and administers the drugs to all these girls. Like having a den mama for the Boy Scouts. And then they got the trap houses and the crack houses. There's all sorts of different regional names for all these different places.
I guess they like being by the highway because it's really easy to drive up from California, obviously, and it's easy to get somewhere fast back and forth. You know.
That's what they do in Boulder. They traffic them between Boulder, Colorado, and Cheyenne, Wyoming. They got them on rotation, and there's even a few people who have informed me that the police were involved, and that's the thing, is that I had evidence from these people on that computer, you know, that it's just, and here I am, I have to take care of these things. I'm physically and mentally incapable of doing these things, but I'm still trying. And then people are like, well, you're not trying because you're not getting the results that we wanted. I'm like, the term mentally ill means that literally the cops aren't going to take a report from me without someone present with me. And because of my disability, somebody has to go in with me, and I have to do it in person. Or I have to have somebody who's willing to take the time and invest the time to teach me how to do all this computer stuff that 10,000 people keep telling me to do. I've literally spent probably close to 1,000 hours trying to figure out internet stuff that people were able to show me in 5 minutes. It's fucking crazy.
Well, try to look at the positive, man. It's a beautiful day. You know?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Plus, those guys are away from my vehicle. I'm going to check to make sure there's no rigs back here.
Yeah, make sure there's no needles. They didn't take a crap or anything. Make sure everything's still in your vehicle.
Oh, I've picked up the crap a couple of times. My vehicle's locked.
Why is there so many flies over here?
There's a dude who fucking comes out here and literally he pees right there. That was, I want to say, night before last. So it's gonna be a bunch of flies over here and fucking toilet paper, see? But so there's gonna be flies over here until the sprinklers have sprinkled on it for 3 or 4 days, and then it just all ends up underneath the vehicle up here.
That's great.
Yeah, I thought the cops were knocking on my fucking window. Like, God damn it, you know, I'm trying, officer, I'm doing the best I can. I look out, and it's some dude's backpack. There's one of the little things dangling, and it's bouncing off my door. I could hear him peeing. It's not like he was, and it was all out in the open, too. All right, well, I don't have much battery left on my phone. I got to try to make a few more phone calls and try to get some funds to get the fuck out of here. I don't know what else to do. If you come up with any ideas, let me know. If there's a church that you might be able to call, because my phone's almost dead. If you can find like a gas voucher or anything of that nature. I mean, literally the only reason that I've been stuck here is because of my brakes. But I'm also now out of gas because I've been here so long.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know, man. I can ask some friends maybe. I'm not very religious, so I don't know any churches, so...
Well, you can look them up. I mean, I hate asking too, you know, like I'd love to do it all myself. I'm
I'll look
gonna be
around
calling
and see
too.
If, I know that down there's a church that the homeless people go to. It's on this road. I don't know what that road is. Sheridan or Alaska? Is this Alaska?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But whatever. There's like down there. There's a church. I know that the homeless people go to.
All right. Well, I'll see
I'll
what I
look,
come
man. I'll
up
let you
with.
know. Have a good night, though.
Yes, sir. Thank you.